Hi, everyone, and welcome. While I'm waiting for everyone to join us, I'm going to go ahead and show you the paper. Actually, I'm going to show you really quick two papers that I'm going to be using, and then I'll explain our project to you. The I made the original one. Hi, Diane and Diane. I made the original one with our Christmas cheer, and then I'll show you the other 8x8. So I am using the 8x8. This is our darling little elves. One of my, I just love the paper. One of my favorites. So let me just kind of skim through it so that we can get working. And then I'll explain. Hi, Cindy. That was on the cover. So if you saw the Christmas planner, whoops, I show it in the Halloween, the Bewitching Hour, little Halloween album. And I'm not good at fanning because there's so many papers. So there's Christmas cheer. And then the other one that I'm just really debating about, so I know I'll be making more than one of these, will be with Santa's Little Helper in the 8x8. So we have the 8x8. And let me go ahead. Here, this is noisy, and I do apologize. I should have taken it out too. So our Santa's Little Helper 8x8 is absolutely adorable too. And again, we have the tags. So this one is really, the format is really adorable to use in these planners. Oh my gosh, Myrna, Sunday morning I go to, it should be like, oh, you know what? When you're on Facebook, if you are watching from Facebook, I'm watching from Facebook, you need to refresh your page and then it will be live on Facebook. So yeah, just refresh your page. Facebook makes you do that. But there's our little, look at this, how cute, 2x2. So again, I'm going out for frames. I want the frames in 8x8 and 12x12. I'll be decorating my home with this. And yes, we are bringing home Homer, our new little beagle. And I will introduce them to all of you. Hi, Bev. Homer will be coming home on Sunday. Thank you. He's going for his shots today with his litter. And I'm getting really excited. It's like bringing a new baby home for adoption. It really is, you guys. So Wilbur will have his little buddy Homer. Now, Wilbur's name was chosen. Well, there's a lot of cool things, but I chose it because of Charlotte's Web. Homer is the farmer. Hi, Diane Moore. Homer is the farmer in Charlotte's Web. So another thing that is going to be really cool to use. So these are now on the website, and Sally will be showing these pretty soon because she's kind of like our die queen. The album tags and accents. These album tags are 3 7/5, and then there's the 4 2/5. Love them, and I'm going to be using them also. So I found when I got these yesterday, awesome size to use in our projects. But let me give you a little background story. We were getting ready for the retreat. We just got done, you know. And I can't find my books. Nobody took them. I know Sally didn't confiscate them. But we had a lot of cleaning up going on, and I can't find the original book. So when you're working with me today, I know a lot of you are going to ask, can we see the book? No, you can't see the book because I can't find the book, and I'm so sorry. But you can see the walkthrough over on the Bewitching Hour, and I show it at the second video, I think at the end, on how I used the leftovers from Bewitching Hour. Now, I'm not using my leftovers on this one with Bewitching Hour because I chose red, and it is pretty bright in here. It's not quite that bright, but I apologize. I cannot find the books. And they're great little planners, so you're going to kind of have to make them with me sight unseen. And I did post the cutting guide in Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations. I also posted the cutting guide here in the beginning. And it looks like I don't have it saved in my right click here. So I will give you the measurements again as we go along. But you can go over on Scrapbookers or at the very beginning of these comments, and we'll make sure they are saved. And I did wrap one of my chipboards so that you can see. Your chipboards are 5 wide, 8.5 long. You have a 1.5 inch spine by 8.5. So I've just used one sheet of my score tape which is so awesome. $1.99. Boom, boom, it's covered. You don't have to use your rolls, right? And like I said, one is wrapped to save time. And I'll go ahead now. These are already put down. And then I had that extra piece that I put from another sheet. Never throw them away. But if you've never wrapped them this way, you can see how quick and easy compared to putting the roll on. Now, this is lightweight chipboard. I sell it at countrycraftcreations.com. And you can also use the heavyweight chipboard. I went with the lighter weight. It's a little more flexible to stick in my bag. And I didn't want it to be super heavy to carry around because it will sit in my car. I'm not one of those. I try to use my online calendar. I really do for important things. I will stick it in there when I'm making my appointment for doctor, hair, whatever. But I am a writer. I love to write everything down. See, I don't use, I give that all to Tanya, my assistant, and then she gets everything typed up. I like to write it because it's immediate. Thought comes to my brain, I write it down, and we're off to a good start, right? So how's everybody doing? I love fall. I just love fall. So is everybody getting ready for fall? Or hi, Lynette. Like I said, this one's been wrapped, and you're going to want to cut 2 pieces of your cardstock to wrap with that are 8.5. Nope, that are 7 by 10.5. Sorry, these are 7 by 10.5. You always want to go 2 inches wider, 2 inches longer to cover your chipboard. You can wrap this all in one length. You can wrap your chipboard however you like. This is how I like it. Then you want one piece for the spine that is 4.5 by 10.5. And using my scoreboard, because then I get that nice, perfect 1 inch. Most of you have seen all my tutorials, so you know what I'm talking about. And these are the 1 inch spacers that we sell at Country Craft Creations that are made exclusively for Country Craft Creations. And they're so handy. I have more than one set because I love them. My chipboard has already been covered, as you saw, with the score tape sheets. And also, when ordering the paper, our exclusive papers that are designed just for Country Craft Creations, please keep in mind, if you ever see it sold out, it's only sold out in quantity that it's being printed, and it will be back in just a couple of days. We're learning. We're trying to learn to keep up with. We're keeping up with you guys, but we have so many new ones that are exciting. I can't wait to show you. Have you seen Plaid Pumpkin? Oh, it's adorable, guys. Adorable. But the Christmas planner, this is where we need to start. I always like to start with my Christmas planner. And on Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations, I hope you all found in the files the planner list that you can print. Now, also, it's a free planner list. And I did get it off the internet, so it was free. That's why I was able to share it with you. Hi, Brenda. So if you cannot, for some reason, find it, or you're not in our group, Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations, then send us a friend request. We'd love to have you. That's where tons of files, tons of all of the projects, that's where you'll find them in the beginning. Hi, Debbie. And anyway, you want to start with the Christmas planner, even if you, especially if you are a note taker. And it's something that you'll put away. In fact, I have last year's and the year before. Hi, Tanya. I keep them to see how things have changed, how my grandchildren have changed through the years of their wants and needs. And then they can look at them. I use them almost like an album. And you can always go back on my YouTube. I'm not staying quite in camera. You can always go back in the YouTube and find the planners from prior years. I try to do them different every year. And they are also good to make for other You don't have to just make them for Christmas. But this is where I start. This is where my notes are. This is where I get everything together in my thoughts. Okay, we're going to fold. If you're wrapping your chipboard like this, you wrap lightweight chipboard just like you would heavyweight. But the planner is where I get all my thoughts together, what I'm going to be buying, you know, Christmas cards. And I don't know about you guys, but I am more psyched up for this Christmas because handmade gifts are back in style. Let me tell you, we're going to show the world that crafters, gifts right here. And if you know a crafter that sells her crafts, please buy them from her or make your own. Yeah, let's support the handcrafting community every way we can. Country Craft Creations papers are made right here in Hooper, Utah. They're not only designed, I mean, our team, we work together closely. One of my team illustrators is right here near me, so we work really close together. I work really close together with all of them. But you're supporting local. You're supporting a local printer, and you're supporting USA made. Everything's made in USA, from the cardstock to the ink that we're printing with. And I know we're working on the embellishments for you. And come the New Year's Eve, we've got a New Year's Eve paper to die for. And then after that, wedding and Valentine's. But they're going to be, you're going to love it, guys. You're going to have your little die cuts. We've got the die made. Yes, you won't have to hand cut them if you don't want to. Isn't that, I think it's exciting. So pretty soon we'll be able to just punch them right out, and you won't have to do any cutting unless you want to. Oh, there's no issues at all. I just get in the car, I drive down the street. Everything, artisan cardstock, everything's made right here. It's right here. Oh, thank you so much, Diane. Yes, the die is made. Oh, Molly, there she is. There's our Molly is our favorite talent, I know. But yes, Molly, the die is made, and I'm so excited. So the printing has already started, and as soon as they're cut, I will send them your way. You're going to love them. But don't worry, for you that love to cut, you're still going to get a sheet in your collection that is not cut. I don't know about you, but sometimes cutting is relaxing. And sometimes you want the back of the paper, like our New Year's Eve paper. Wait till you see our New Year's Eve paper. Oh, it's to die for. Hi, Julie. How are you? I have to say, I've loved all the collections that the whole team has been working on, but this New Year's Eve brought back so many. I mean, while I was working with it for our virtual retreat, I had Dean Martin on. I had Old Blue Eyes. It was just amazing to work with this paper. I remember my parents dressing up and going out New Year's Eve, and it just felt so good to have a collection that brought so much memory. And it wasn't just your basic, it's not just your, let me tell you, you're going to love this New Year's Eve paper. And if you're in the virtual retreat, you're going to be the first to get it. Okay, spine piece is 4.5 by the 10.5, because your actual spine piece is 1.5 by 8. And if you remember, we want an inch usually around, but when it comes to the spine, I do 1.5 inches. I like that extra grab. Now, if you want to do this where you're using the paper as so that you have the spine already covered, go to designer Bobby on our design team. She uses the cardstock, the pattern for her spine piece, and she shows you how to do that, Bobby Weaver. And you're going to love how she's wrapping her spine so that you have pattern paper. I'm kind of I love to have the extra weight. But go see Bobby's because you're gonna love it. Lillian, I'm telling you, that's the thing Molly, after retreat, when you get on the lives or you see a name on Facebook because you've spent 3 days. We spent 3 days that went by so fast. And I always cry. I try not to, but seeing you guys is the most amazing thing to me in person because we just love every one of you. But when we go home and then we see your name on Facebook or here on the live, it's kind of like, you can also hear them talking. Do you guys ever hear when you see the name pop up, you'll hear the accent or their voice? I love it. Carolyn's one, I always see her name and then I hear that, accent. We're going to do almost the same thing that we did with our other pieces. We're still going to hold it over the chipboard and you're going to burnish it so it lays down nice. Oh, Carrie, we just had the most fabulous retreat. We're going to have one again in April, and then we have one in June in Florida, but they are sold out. But I'm so excited to see everybody again. Then we have our virtual retreat for New Year's Eve, and there is still a few boxes left. You can go to countrycraftcreations.com, and Tanya might even post the link here for you. The virtual retreat has about 7 projects. The designers, myself, some of us are live. We learn new tips. We learn new techniques and lots of fun projects. Now, after you have done the folding, the burnishing, I kind of like to lightly clean up that edge. Just re-push in that score line. And then we're going to just go ahead and fold that completely over. You want this to band. Tanya, could you post the link to the virtual retreat boxes? Because it actually is going to end tonight at midnight. And then the boxes, they turn into pumpkins and they are no more for New Year's Eve. That's it. Our virtual retreat boxes. If you go and watch Debbie's Project 29, Debbie, am I giving them the right YouTube? She did a walkthrough of everything from our last retreat. And you're going to see how packed the boxes are. They're amazing. Okay, we have now rectangles. And I'm going to cut them out just like we did the squares. So tonight at midnight, don't forget, there will be no more New Year's Eve retreat boxes. Yeah, Project 39. I was off by 10. Project 39, make sure you subscribe to Project 39 mini album. She's on our design team. Fabulous designs and a fabulous lifestyle in her great big motor home or trailer. It's great. And she went through our neighborhood retreat box so that you get to see. But the projects are always different. Some of the designers are different. That's what's nice. You get different takes on different projects. And there we have, something looks off. It is because I was talking. Okay, mine is, as you noticed, is a little bit off because I was running my mouth. I don't know why. 2, 3, 4.5. Well, that's kind of a mystery, but it's okay. Still works. I mean, you can do it with 1 inch. This is a little more than 1 inch. Don't ask me how that happened. Can't find the books either, so I'm not surprised. I just fold those backwards. Remember to use your chipboard as your stopper, and then you won't cut those too short. Sorry, I'm talking too much today. I just miss you guys so much. When you spend 4 or 5 days with a bunch of designers and a bunch of crafters and you haven't talked since then, you need to catch up, right? Oh, you're welcome, Carrie, and thank you for those kind words. I know for me, I can whip out 3 or 4 covers in the time it took me to do one, wrapping it all in one long length. And the nice thing of this is my hands don't hurt. Okay, we're going to fold down the 2 end pieces. We're not folding the sides. Oh, we smushed that up there. Well, hi, Bonnie. I hope you all are getting excited. I get excited. I consider the holidays Halloween through actually New Year's. And I get extremely excited just because I feel like there's more people. We're not doing so much yard work. We're more online. We spend more time together online, and I love it. Okay, let's just do one last fold over so that we make sure. Oh, do you fast forward through? Well, I know. I'm glad I could share this with you, and it all came about because of some older ladies on a cruise. So I'm grateful they were sent my way, or I wouldn't have come up with this. Okay, now we're going to add our covers. Hi, Tiffany. So I'm going to use my scoreboard for this. Now, everything you want the unfinished side face down. Carrie, this is my own artisan cardstock, and it goes between 85 and 87 pounds. And I want to show you something. The reason the weight can vary, you're not going to notice it, only I notice it. It's because it's long fibers, and I'm going to show you something. You're going to know it's long fiber. Oh, and this is not recycled. There is no recycling to this paper. You want to know how you can tell a recycled paper? When you tear it, do you see how it's red all the way through? And because it's also, there's long fibers. It's not the short, chewed up, recycled fibers. And if you guys knew about recycled paper, and there's recycled paper not made in the USA, how dirty the water is, you would run. See, the red goes all the way through. You can tear this and it's red all the way through, and there is no recycling here. So when you get a different cardstock, tear it and see. That's going to tell you if there's long fibers. Now, long fibers can change the weight just a little bit between the pounds. It's disgusting. I was shown at one of the local craft wholesalers here, and I was just taken back. But anyway, so that's why the weight may say it varies, but that's also why it doesn't crack, because the fibers are long. You get short fibers, you're going to have your paper cracking because it doesn't know which way to go. It has nothing to do with there being okay, you can tell you might have a nap, kind of like your fabric, but because these fibers are long, up and down, horizontal and vertical, you don't get cracking. And that's why it does cost a little bit more. But when you're creating something that you want to be an heirloom, you don't want it to crack, right? So I'm just going to fold that up. I just stick it over here to the side. About an 8/16 of an inch from the edge so glue doesn't smush. And you can actually, do this however you like. I like to do it this way and use my scoreboard because it keeps it straight. And yes, I'm putting it right up to there, but not too close. The glue will see the glue, and I kind of did that on purpose so the glue, I could show you, gives you time to fix your hinge if you got too close. So try to stay just a hair, so about a 32 of an inch, right? There we go, from that edge. It won't let you post the links to my store on YouTube. I saw them, Tanya. See, look. It's there. Is it not showing up on your end? Let me see. Can't post comments to some destinations. I don't know why. That is quite different. I don't know. They're always changing things. Anyway, go to countrycraftcreations.com and just look up New Year's Eve retreat box and look up your artisan cardstock. And you should be able to fold that back. Okay, let's repeat. I don't know. I'll have to check. Settings are constantly changing on these groups and on these platforms. They don't make it easy for us, do they? Okay, there's our cover. Quick, easy. Look at that. It's so awesome when it comes out the way you want it to come out, right? We need to cover now our spine because it's quite flimsy. I don't know. I will figure that one out. To figure this out, so if you're ever doing this and you're changing the size, I just measure from side to side. I like to go about an inch past the cardstock. So we're going to cut a piece that's 6 inches by 7 7/8. No, 7 3/8. Sorry. So 6 inches by 7 3/8, and I'm going to actually cut my first piece. I've done this a little differently so that I don't have to cut with a blade. I'm just going to cut my score tape sheet. And I'm going to cut it at 6 inches. This is 8 inches. 8.5 inches. I keep saying 7 7/8. Sorry, it's 8 3/8. Oh, that's what's on the cutting guide too. So I'm going to cut that off, and I'm just going to take 1/8 of an inch to make it 8 3/8. Hello, Pamela Romano. So now this is 6 by 8 3/8. I know, I want the Beagle babies too. I can't wait to show you. So this was a piece that I had left over from cutting. And as you can see, it's not quite, it won't quite fit that way. So we're going to go the long way, and then I'm just going to cut that out. I just got in a brand new shipment at Country Craft Creations of the score tape sheets. Yes, you've got to have these with all the holiday projects. Again, just use your scoreboard. Plus, we got a new shipment of scoreboards and mats because you're going to just want this for everything. Oh, Tanya, thank you. So Tanya is taking my type, and she's going to type you guys up a good one. So now we're just going to cut and cut. Hi, Mickey. Oh, didn't we have a good time? We sure did. All set to go. Perfect size, everything. And it's going to sit across the center here. And that's what's going to give strength to your project. I do have a little, not too worried about it hanging over the edge, but you can just push that under. And Mickey is the winner. She won on our store page on the comments. So congratulations, Mickey. I will get that out to you today. She won Santa's Little Helper collection. So I hope these two techniques help, because you can see how using your scoreboard and your spacers that we sell at Country Craft Creations really it just keeps it super straight. Everything is where it belongs. And hi, Jerry. And then you're a happy crafter because everything is in the right spots. So now I'm just going to gently form that. We're going to burnish that. Again, the long fibers in the artisan cardstock is what keeps this from cracking as I'm doing that. But don't force it. You still need to, actually, you wouldn't have to be gentle, but I still am, just in case. I have just taken it and flipped it over and burnished it. Okay, and while you do that, I'm going to let you catch up for a minute, and I will be right back. I just need to turn the door, open the dog door. Okay, sorry. I thought my granddaughter was calling me to open the dog door, but I see it's open and she didn't realize it was open, so we're good. Okay, there's our album. We can set that aside. It's ready to go. I do have 3 pages on this, and so you do want a hinge piece, and we're going to create the hinge. Our hinge is 4 inches by 8 inches. And we are going to score on the 4 inch at the top of your scoreboard. So again, this is 4 by 8, and you're going to score 1/2 inch all the way down to 3.5 inch. So we're going to go 1/2 inch, 1. Hey, see? So 1/2 inch, 1 inch, or 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, and 3.5. So we have 1/2 inch gussets. That's going to give you plenty of room for all your lists and everything else we're going to put in here. And before I start folding it, I do trim just a hair off of each end. So my hinges, you'll see, I don't like them to hit. When I fold this over, I don't like it to hit into the score line, so I just trim a hair off. And it doesn't matter if they're even a little too short. And if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. But it makes it a lot nicer and neater on the ends. See, it stops right before the fold line instead of going over the fold line. Right there. Otherwise, it can hang over a little bit. Because a lot of things kind of affect it with the size of your scoring tool. How you're folding can definitely affect the paper there. Glue. So push down so we can keep them straight. And you're leaving that space in between. So now we're going to take the end ones again. Oh, that's really nice. I have to share that, Mickey. This was the winning quote that Mickey had posted on our store page for our contest. And so the winning quote was, to be creative is to let a little piece of your heart and place them, to let go of little pieces of your heart and place them into each project you made. I really like that. Okay, so I have my 3 hinges. And I'm going to now glue them together. Thank you, Tanya. Yeah, is that over? That's over on Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creation. Now, in between there, I just add my adhesive. Again, you can use your score tape, any adhesive you like. Hi, Tina. I'm glad you made it home safe. Yes, it's great to be on here with everybody. I have to say, we had one heck of a time. I was looking at my pictures from the photo camper. Oh, that was a ball. Wilbur thought we were all crazy. Pretty sad when your beagle gets more requests to come to the retreat, right? So yes, we had to bring Beagle out, Wilbur out for photo night, but he was not having it. He was kind of scared. He was like 70 freaking laughing people, and all women mostly. All right. Don't be afraid of your hinges either. Don't be afraid to burnish those down so that they already have established their bending order. They know which way they're going to go. Okay, we're going to have 3 pages. And again, I'm just going to work them for a few minutes. I don't like them stiff. Okay, we're ready to go. And I did not add pattern paper to the back. I'm just going to keep it red. Oh, you know, Rhonda, I never realized. You know what? That was probably it. He does not like camping. So I'm wondering if that's what upset him in the camper. Okay. So we're going to place this in the center. I know red on red is kind of hard. Got glue there. And you just want to eyeball the center, or eyeball it so that you don't have it too close to the top or too far down on the bottom. So I'm just going to eyeball, fold those in to kind of see that I've got it pretty even. It's like about a 1/2 inch on both sides. And do push them down pretty hard so that glue will dry. Now we're going to set this see, we're going to set this aside and let it dry. I'm going to set it aside, let it dry. We're going to do our pages. Now we have three pages in our book, and they are going to be a top load so that you can add your list. Now the lists are over on Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creation. I mentioned that in the beginning, and they are in the Files tab. And the Files tab can be different to find if you're on your computer or your phone or iPhone. So you'll need to, there goes the dog. You'll need to, also you can just put in the search bar, look for planner printouts, planner printout, Christmas planner printouts. So our pages are, you want 3 of them that are 8 by 9. Hi, Tina, and we are going to score these at 4.5. And you want the 9-inch across the top of your scoreboard. We're just going to score them right in half at 4.5 inches. Oh, okay, I didn't tell you guys, I was going to tell you. So what we're going to do is, since I can't find the original books, like I said, I made 2 of them. We're going to create this whole thing right now, and I'm going to come back tonight, and I'll post the time on Scrapbookers. It's going to be a little bit later, but it stays recorded, and I'm going to do the matting. So we're going to create the book now. This way, too, you'll have all this afternoon if you want to come back and do the matting with me. So we're going to fold this in half. And I will post another video reminder here on YouTube and on Scrapbookers as to the time this evening. And that will give me time to cut my pattern paper. Okay, we're going to now go corner to corner, making sure it's straight. And you, that way we'll have the matting all done. So I have my 3 pages, super simple. So again, get these made and have them ready for Thanksgiving. You can give them out to your family as they come for Thanksgiving dinner. We're going to add our pages just like we would in a big book. I like to put it down to make sure it's going to fit. Once we're good, I am adding this to the page. About a 1/2 inch in. A little chilly down here, so I know my glue. Hi, Cat. My glue is taking a few seconds longer. Okay, turn that over. Now we're just going to fold our page over, and this is where we're going to seal the bottom. Don't be heavy with your glue. Otherwise, it'll squish out everywhere. Okay, we'll get that closed. Oh, this red looks so bright, but it's really not this bright. The camera makes it look bright. I know. You know what? You guys, I'm still in contact with Art Glitter Glue. They're still having to fill the bottles. And so now I'm going to take the tip in here. They're still having to fill the bottles by hand. So as soon as they get to me, the nice thing is my granddaughter is in college down in St. George where it's warm, so I can have it shipped there. But we are bringing in a, well, hi, Sally. Nice. Oh, Sally, were you on your broom ride? Okay, you're excused. We know why you're late then. Anyway, we're going to be able to, I'm getting some heated, those hand glove things to put in with the art glitter glue. So if it's too cold, because we got to have it, people. We need this art glitter glue. We're still working on getting it. I'm not the witch, Miss Sally. Second page. Before we put it down, you just want to make sure you're even. I always go by the bottom. Right up to that hinge. Don't be afraid to butt it up there, keeping your bottom straight. And then I like to flip it over and make sure it's all down. I like to see the inside of my page as I'm working. I like to know it's on that hinge where it belongs. Just add a little more adhesive there. Okay, let's close it up. And you'll find your own little tips and techniques as you're creating your projects that work for you. So I'm just squeezing that together. Yeah, and the way the cardstock's in here makes my page look a little off, but it's not. Tanya, it just worked for Sally. How odd. Oh, it's her mystical, magical power. Sally, we haven't been able to get that to work. Again, keeping everything so our pages are perfectly straight. And, well, it's up to you. I'm going to go on the page on this side. My black nail polish is actually to accent the orange halos of pumpkins. Yeah, it has nothing to do with you have witch on the brain, Sally. Linda, hi. They are just now showed up on Facebook. Don't forget, if you don't want it to be that long, you can also close it up higher on your page. There is no limits. Huh. I didn't know YouTube had a limit. Clean up any glue. I brought the big boy in. I'm going to go back. Don't just flip. See, the page won't lay down unless you tell it to lay down. Don't be afraid with, if you're using Artisan, if you're using another cardstock, do, test out your cardstock first. But let's break those fibers and tell it where we want it to go. Okay, so there's the pages. And then at the top is where we're going to put in those planner sheets that you can print out. So our next step is going to be to add our flaps and our flips that are going to be in our book. And the front of all the pages will have the same. So these 3 pages are basically the same. And we have a 4.5 by 8, and that's going to be the front of each page. So you might want to cut it just a hair short. Nope, looks good. And I used the envelope punch board. Let me show you. So that my flap will look like this. And I cut one because, like I said, I can't find my books. One will go this way. I did it so one goes this way, one will go this way, and one will go this way. Totally up to you. You don't have to use it if you don't have an envelope punch board. I just wanted it to have more of that file folder look. So we have 3 4.5 by 8s, and the first thing I'm going to do is grab my envelope punch board. We are going to put these in the punch board, not laying flat, at 3 1/4. And of course you can adjust it. Now when you do your pattern paper, I will be showing you that, because we're still going to cut it 3 7/8. Any helpful hints when printing stuff from your computer to put in a book? Lisa, I don't have any hints. Others might. I just print them. When it comes down to it, we're going to cut our pattern cardstock at 3 7/8 by 7 7/8. But when you put the pattern paper into your scoreboard to match, you cut this now at 3 1/8. This 3 1/4. This 3 1/8. So envelope punch board, my plain cardstock 3 1/4, and we will score it in just a moment. 3 1/4. There's a reason I'm not scoring, because I want that one to go the other way. If I was to score it first, I'd probably mess up, but it wouldn't matter. I mean, we haven't put pattern paper on, so it's fixable, but we have the 3 1/4 here. We need to cut this away. You can use your envelope. I mean, I'll do one in my cutter and I'll do one by hand. I really do prefer doing them by hand. I turn my scoreboard so I have the straight line. I use the lines on my scoreboard mat so I can line it up. See, it's hard for you to see, but I see the line that comes right through there and where it needs to be. Needs to be down just a little bit more. I go through, and I don't want to put that back on there because I don't want to mess up my cut line. That's by hand. Hi, Kathy. This is in my scoreboard. Now, one side is longer than the other. This is the long side. That's the side I want to cut out. So I'm going to put it in my envelope punch board. See the dip? So you want the beginning of it to not be in your punch board, or you'll cut it, right? And I go slow. Don't be in a hurry. We cut. There we go. It's nice when it just kind of connects and does it by itself. But there is always, I always get that little bit of a piece, and you can cut it if you want. I would rather just sand it down than risk cutting it and ruining the whole thing. So remember, paper is wood. Paper sands just fine. So you can do it either method. You can even hand cut it if you'd like. I'm not hand cutting. No way. But this is my favorite. Oops, move to the other side. You want, oh, if you, I can't cut that way, Pamela. I know if you move, oh, you mean move, I can't. Do you know what? Sometimes, because see, I use both my left and my right hand. And some things I cut right hand, some things I cut left hand. And this is one, there's no way I could cut it that way. It would be a mess. Well, hello, Paper Diva. Okay, we have our pieces and parts. Like I said, one's going to go that way in my book. You don't have to have it that way. I want one at the bottom so you can kind of see it. Then I'll have the other one. It doesn't really matter on this one. Oh, you moved to Facebook. Oh, sorry. So, regardless of what size, we're just going to put the 4 1/2 at the top, and we're going to score it 1/2 inch. And then just finish that score line. So that one's going to be my middle one. So that will be the thing. If these two are going to be at the top, then I'm just going to fold my score line in the other way. And if you have to reverse it before you attach them to the page, you'll just bend it the other way and burnish it, no problem. So I'm not worried about going against, you know, that mountain or the valley. And that's how mine will go. So what we want to do next is go ahead and miter your corners. And then we'll attach those onto the page. Bonnie, are you still out there, my dear? And the last one. Now, when I do the matting on the inside, because I'll do it with you on cutting this, I used white. I just used plain white cardstock on the inside. You put down a mad face on Facebook, my dear. I was just wondering, are you having a bad morning? I know you didn't mean to. I just wanted to give you a little razzing. Okay, let's grab the page. So the front page just has the flap. The back pages will have the pockets. And the, hi, Tony, and the whole idea for this is I've got a writing spot on the inside, and then I have some little photo mats so I can put down some pictures. I know you didn't mean to. So this is going to just attach to the outside edge. Now, if you want to mat these first, then wait till tonight. I do want to mat them first, but I want to show you where they're going to go, because it's going to be easier, and we'll mat tonight. And I know it's going to be a little bit late, but it's going to be after dinner, so it'll be like 6:30 Mountain Standard Times. Hey, Michelle. And so I want to mat these before we put them in the book. But one will go there. One will go here. You'll see it better with the matting. And so I'm just going to put these aside. We're going to put the pockets on the back side. And then we'll basically be done. And well, not quite, but we will be doing all the matting tonight. This here, I'm going to do horizontal pockets. So I have a place to slide things in. And they're not on the cutting guide. So I'll let you know on those in a moment. So our back pockets, the pockets that are going to go on the back of the page, you have 3 of them. And they are 4 inches by 11. They're accordion pockets. We wanted accordion pockets so that you have lots of room inside of them. And we're going to score them all the same. We're going to start with the 3 inches, the 11 at the top of the scoreboard. And we're going to score it 1/2, 1, 1.5. And now turn to the 4-inch side and score it 1/2 inch. Let's turn back to the 11-inch side and score it 1/2, 1, and 1.5. Do it again on the next 2 pieces at 1/2, 1, 1.5. We're going to turn to the 4-inch side and score it 1/2 inch, and back to the 11-inch side at 1/2, 1, and 1.5. So if you're working along with me, you may just want to do 1 pocket. I know, because sometimes if you're trying to keep up, I'm trying to go pretty slow here, but then you can go back, because we're going to do the same 3 pockets. Then it won't be so stressful. 11 across the top, we're going to score it 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5. And let's go ahead and turn back to the 4-inch side at 1/2. And 1/2, 1, and 1.5. Now these pockets do have a flap that comes over the top, and it will be up to you if you want to use a magnet to keep it closed. I will be using 3 large magnets, or you can use seam binding. So you can do it either way. Maybe I'll do one with seam binding and one with ribbon, but to show you, super simple. But we want to have a flap over the pocket to keep our receipts in there or anything else we're keeping. And we're going to, these are 3.5 by 8. And you want 3 of those. And yes, the cutting guide, Tanya has made a document, and I will upload it to this video when we're done. So if you're on YouTube, you'll see it. If not, we're going to score 1/2 inch. I'm going to round the corners 2 of these. Join us over on Facebook at Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations. And that's where, you'll get quick access to all the cutting guides and all the designers' posts. And you can also make sure you subscribe. There's 12 designers. We got lots of projects coming up for you. 1/2 inch again with the 3.5 at the top. And with Christmas coming, we're going to be doing a lot of talking about the homespun Christmas, where it starts at home. We're going to be creating at home. We're even going to bring you some baking recipes, and we're going to have a lot of fun this Christmas season. So I have a score line to my left, and I'm just going to round my corners. We're going to have a lot of fun, and Sally's going to teach us how she burns her cookies so that we all know not what to do. And next week, I know I'll be doing some baking with you. I'm going to show you how perfect cookies turn out. I'm going to get slapped. I just know it next time she sees me. Let's start with our flap. I'm just going to get these ready for after we put our pocket down. Oh, awesome. Pam's already downloading the cutting guide. You know what? Everybody, when you get a chance, please tell Tanya a heartfelt, great big virtual hug. She goes in and does all this for us. She's quick. She's thorough. There's no mistakes usually. If there's a mistake, it's usually because of mine. But tell her thank you. We appreciate everything she does so much. She's an amazing, not only crafter, but an amazing person. Yes, Tanya rocks. Okay, we got those corners cut. I've got my magnets here. Now, again, I will put the pockets on, but I am not going to, I want to mat these flat. So we'll put those up here with the pages. And like I said, we're going to do the matting tonight. So I'm really excited. It's a quick project to get done, but it's too long for us to sit this whole time. We've already scored the 1/2, 1 and 1 1/2. I'm going to first just fold the whole score lines in. Then I'm going to turn it over. Well, let's do the bottom. We're going to cut that away, but let's go ahead and it's better to use the weight of this whole thing. Okay. Down here, you have a triangle of 3. And if you want to watch, I'm going to cut on the inside. Let me draw this for you to get a better idea of what you're looking at. We're going to go on the inside of that score line right there, and we're going to remove. And the reason I go to the inside of the score line, I'm getting rid of the bump. I don't want any of that. It just kind of gets in the way. And I'm going to angle it. Yes, it is, because I'll tell you why in almost 3-hour live. But we've only been live for an hour, Sally. We got to eat. We got to, we got to pee. So with this folded over. Now I'm going to fold towards myself, back inwards. Oh, awesome, Lynette. I love having you around. Amateur. Well, sorry. But you know what? I'm also shipping today with the girls. So I have to go help them. Let's open it and let's just do a slight angle here. Tucks it nice and neat under our pattern paper. Now, if Sally would come and do the shipping, I could continue. But no, our shipping gal is out. Her son's not feeling well. So I'm going to just angle that right now. So she needed to be home with him. So we've kind of taken over for her. I hope we can do a good job. Okay, we've already done the scoring and the burnishing on that first one. So fold towards yourself and back in. Plus, because I lost the book, I got to get my matting all cut. I don't know where the book is. I've lost 2 of them. I know they're tucked somewhere. I just don't know where I tucked them. Okay, I'm going to use my clothespins. Oh, I need to angle this corner. Yes, Tanya had to fill in. We kind of had an emergency, and she did a great job teaching. Okay, dot of glue there and a dot of glue there. I'm going to fold that over. Use your clothespins. While this dries and becomes nice and secure, we can cut the other 2. So now that you know what we're doing, I'll just go just a little bit faster. Yeah, that's the problem when Sally ships. You know she's been here because she leaves notes on your projects. Hey, Jen, how you doing? Go ahead and get our cutting done. Again, on the inside of that score line so we can get rid of it. And I'm going to angle. If you're not comfortable angling till after you cut, that's okay too. I'll show you another way. So I'm going to cut this down. A lot of times I fold that in just like I do my album covers until I was more comfortable, because that gives you a guide with your scissors not to cut too short. And I do need to clean up. There we go. There was just a little piece. Yes, when you're paper crafting, you're happy. That is for sure. Towards myself and in. Renee, how are you? Yeah, for those of you just joining, after we put our pockets on, I will be getting all the pattern paper. So we will be back on live this evening for the matting, and that way you can get your album done if you want to do the matting with me on camera. So those two are ready. And let's do the third one. You know what? The red is really bright on camera, Dan. It's a lot brighter than it is in person, but I do love it. So I just fold that very last inside score line. And then we can go ahead and do all the cutting. Now, tomorrow night, don't forget, we have our Zoom. I'm going to fold that. And so we have our Zoom crop. You can see more about our Zoom crop on the website where you can buy it's a $10 pass per month. We do 2, sometimes 3, and we all just get together and work on our own projects during Zoom, and we talk, we have fun, and it's like being, especially if you've been to a retreat and you miss the interaction. Tanya and Bonnie are our fabulous moderators. And you can also ask questions. Yes, there's a lot of fun there. Okay, I'm going to fold to myself and away. Now the first one that we did is dry. So I need those clothespins. Hi, Anna. And let's just add our clothespins as it dries. Burnish that so it is flat. And let's grab the book. And before I put my accordion pocket in, once again, I'm just going to burnish everything so it's pretty flat. Now this will go on the back of the pocket, and this closed end is going this way. You can definitely do yours this way, just don't get too close to the hinge. So I'm putting mine to the outside edge, and then this will be the accordion pocket where you can put the list, or if you have any receipts you want to save. So what I did is I broke my pages, and you'll see this one's going to be my Christmas card list. In the back pocket, I'll probably have my stamps, different things like that. Then this one I put down as my Christmas, I think it's it was on the original one, the gift list and stocking stuffers. This one was the menu for Christmas Eve and the food I need to buy. I'll show you on a different one that I do still have. Like I said, I don't know where these two are. They'll pop up here as we're cleaning pretty soon, putting the rest of the retreat stuff away, but I don't know what I did with the 2 finished ones I have. Okay. Again, I will be using the clothespins, and you'll want them for the corners. Outside edge. Make sure, well, we don't really, it doesn't matter. It won't be upside down, but yep, the Christmas presents. So I am just going to add my clothespins to the corners because I really want to make sure those stay down. And if you have I have a lot of clothespins because we're going to be, I've had them for years. We make a lot of boxes here at Christmas time. And I've got some extra clothespins because we're going to need it for those boxes. Trust me, you're going to be making lots of boxes. Okay. And then what will happen after we mat these tonight, that's where your pocket comes on top. And like I said, I did use a magnet, but you can definitely use your seam binding. So I'm going to show you the seam binding method if you're going to use it on this second page, because when we put down our accordion, you want to have the seam binding on here. So I'm going to go ahead and put it down. I like to put the seam binding on the back sides on my hinge pieces because it won't tear your pattern paper. And so I'll have 2 with magnets on this book and 1 with seam binding. Let me grab my seam binding. And I'm going to use black because there is black in Christmas cheer. And you only need to start out with about 24 inches. This is too much, but we'll cut it as needed, right? Let's take this off. So the first thing I'm going to do, because if you're adding seam binding, kind of want it in the middle, which is 4 inches. Oops. You don't need a lot. Yeah, make sure you get any of the fray off because it'll show or stick out. There we go. Then it just comes over the top and it won't mess up your pattern paper. Okay, so grab our book. Close the page. And we're going to add this. Now, a couple tips and tricks. Some of you don't live where it's getting cold. It's getting cold here. So a couple of things. Art glitter glue, if you have a studio or a she shed or anything that's where it's cold, or your craft room is in the basement. My studio is down here in the basement. Your glue may take a little bit longer to dry. I mean, it's not going to get cold and freezing down here, but it is cool. I can feel it. You're going to want to, you know, maybe take it upstairs if it's way too cold. And also your artisan cardstock. So got a really good, the mill. Oh, they got a paper specialist in there now. Awesome, awesome. So during winter, we do get a little bit of popping, cracking, and it's because our paper dries out with space heaters. We do have a lot of space heaters, and you need to keep your paper in the cellophane wrapper it comes in. You know, the acrylic bags. The bags hold in moisture. Even if it's just a little bit, it will hold in moisture, he said. So when you get your artisan cardstock and it comes in the plastic wrap, keep it in there during the winter. Okay. He said that will definitely keep your paper from drying. Do not, mine's all out in the open, so it's all going into bags with the heat now coming on. And it'll be enough. Or add a humidifier down to your craft room. Just one of those inexpensive ones. Of course, what's inexpensive these days, right? And you will have very happy artisan cardstock. You're welcome, see. Now, the other one, Again, we have 4 inches. I'm not going to put this down, but I'll put my seam binding on because if you know me, I will forget. And it will be ready for this evening when we do the matting. And to show you, if you're using the envelope punch board, how to cut that paper. So then it will sit on top. This will come across and tie, and then you won't have torn paper underneath. Okay. Let's just pop that in the pocket for now. And let's put the last one on. And then we'll do the little inserts, and I'll show you what we're going to do with those. So this one will have a magnet. Yes, it does. It needs a sweater. So it needs the plastic bag on there. There in those corners. And then you don't have to sit there and fight with it either. Let your clothespins do the work. Okay, now our book can dry, and I want to show you. We have the inserts that are 4 inches. No, they're not 4 inches. They're 3 3/4 of an inch by 12. They were left over, so you should have these left over. And what happens is they're going to go down here in the center, and that's why you want to see also if yours is going to fit. Okay. Once you get it down inside of the, there we go, center. I didn't score these because, you know, it's going to be a little bit different depending on where your glue hit. Then I just fold them. And then what I did is the printouts, and I'll have those printed out for tonight. Or you can use just your computer paper. But I will have the list printed out, and I'm just going to put my list in there. And this will fold over to keep it in there. And I actually turned them upside down, and then I stapled them at the top so that when they go down, the reason that this is going to flip up is it's going to keep the papers nice and neat. So let me show you. You don't, you know, when you stick it in, you don't have that loose paper, and then it fits perfect. Now, if you don't, of course, you don't have to do it this way, and you'll see tonight. But that way, you know, it's going to fit in there perfect. Our list will sit there. We'll just staple them at the top, and then add a really cute piece of pattern paper, and you can pull them out when you need them. And then when you are done, you just take your list off, and you're going to stick them right into your pocket. Great keepsake. And then you just fold it over. That's the reason also for these pockets. So you can also put them in there if you want more of a photo mat. Now I want to show you one more thing before we go. Mary, I also posted the sheets on the main page on Scrapbookers, and if you go into the files, they're way down there because they're from years ago. Like I said, they were free, so you can also just Google free Christmas planner and some sheets will come up, but I put them on there to make it easier for you. And you just kind of have to scroll around the page. Our page is super busy, I know. You just kind of have to look for them. So this is a plan. Oh, and tonight, 6:30 Mountain Standard or Mountain Daylight Time. We haven't changed the clocks yet. We're going to be finishing this up. Now, this is a planner from, I think, last year. So you can go and get this one too, but I want to show you what they look like. So this one was last year's, and this one has a lot of that. Again, no, this wasn't last year. This is from a bit ago. This was a free one I got off of Pinterest. So how cute is this? Prepare your advent calendar, pick out your tree. You can find things like this just free to download and print on your computer. Oh, this has been a while, actually. I will see if I can find these again and upload them. As long as they're free, then they don't mind them being used. The Christmas card list, mine that I've got in the group, though, are just a little bit different, and that planner's been put away in our Christmas box. Then you've got a Christmas card tracker, or no, an online order tracker. So let me see if for sure. Oh wait, oh, was this the last year? Oh, this was last year's fall retreat. Oh, then I do have these. Okay, let me see about finding these newer ones for you. And I just fold them in half. That's right. It was last year's fall retreat shopping list. What store and what you're going to pick up at the store. And so I put that one, my shopping cards, in with the gift planner. Okay, let me see what I can find on these. And then this will come all the way out. And again, you can put photos here. Where can you get the kit? Which kit? Okay, with this open, then we just had a really cute spot here for, yeah, I don't have any more cards for these. These are, and our December calendar. This was last year's. This was just my sample, and I didn't fill this one out. And then we have our Christmas cookies and our favorite holiday treats. So let me look these up. Again, they were free, so we printed them out. And then this planner. So this planner, there's one very similar to it, though, on my YouTube. Every year I do one. They just change every year. And this year's is going to be this one because I found that I needed a pocket to keep all of my different things. So tonight, 6:30 my time. Right now it is 12:30 my time. We are going to continue this tonight, and we will have it done tonight. So you can look how many of these you can make really quick. How fun is this? And I will see about getting the rest of those downloaded for you. And I'll see where I put them in my files. I never know. I end up with so much stuff in my files between that and new paper collections. And cool. I'll see you after dinner. Good night, guys. Or good afternoon, guys. Let's go eat lunch.